Welcome back to What Kind of Life Path Number Are You? And today we're going to be talking about one of my favorite life path numbers, the life path number 8. Why is it one of my favorites? Because I find that the 8 life path number is one of the most misunderstood life path numbers of all time, right? The 11s, yeah, they have it rough too. The 22s, yeah, the master numbers, 33, absolutely. But the 8 is misunderstood. Let's find out why. Before we go any further, I want to talk a little bit about calculation methods. Okay, so in this time, we're looking at this date of birth, March 25th of 1959. This is my date of birth. It's a really great example of how I want to illustrate what kind of a life path number 8 are you. In this case, we're talking about my life path number, which is a 7. So if we were to do what many people do in numerology and just add all the numbers straight across in the date of birth, it comes up to 34. And 3 and 4 equals 7. So this is considered to be what we call a composite life path number. Had it just added up to 7, that would just be simply a 7 life path number. But most people, it ends up to be a double digit. That means there's a composite number happening here. So what do these mean? These are sub-lessons related to the main lesson. So the main lesson is a 7. The sub-lessons are the 3 and the 4. Okay? So in this case, if I was, in fact, a 34-7, I'd be learning the lessons related to communication, about being a little bit more social, about being a little bit less judgmental towards myself, and being a little bit more confident in the way that I express myself. And the 4 would relate to stability and process and having a plan and being a little bit more focused. I've got all of that, guys. I didn't have to learn that. So that left me feeling a little bit empty, and I didn't quite connect the dots to my life path number. I know I'm a 7. That you can't take from me. That makes sense. But the way in which I go about being the 7 didn't make sense with this calculation method. So the next calculation method we're going to look at is that of what was taught by Matthew Oliver Goodwin, who was a master numerologist back in the 80s. So Matthew taught us to break down each component of the date of birth separately. So in this case, March would equal a 3. 25th day, add 2 and 5 together, comes to 7. The year of birth, 1959, add it together, comes to 24, and 2 and 4 equal 6. Now, add 3 plus 7 plus 6, and it still comes up as a 7 life path number, but this time it's a 16-7 life path number, and herein lies the difference. This 1 suggests that I'm here to learn independence, leadership, creativity, authenticity, originality, all those sorts of things. The 6 relates to learning how to drop that need for perfectionism and judgment, and drop the need to be responsible for everything. Those are numbers I can identify with. I get those numbers. So this method really spoke to me. Plus the fact 16-7 identified a karmic debt that I absolutely know that I'm paying back for. Now, am I going to say this is the absolute way that you should be doing your calculations? No. I'm going to say that you have to do it both ways, and you have to feel your way into those sub-lessons to determine which one is appropriate for you. In this case, do you feel more like a 34-7? Are you here to learn the lessons of the 3 and a 4? Or do you feel more like a 16-7, the 1 and the 6? Okay, so we're talking about the 8 today. So let's get on with that. All right, here's a few possibilities of how you can be an 8 life path number. You can simply be just an 8, right? Meaning there are no sub-lessons involved. You were just here to learn the value of the 8. Or you could be a 17-8, learning the lessons related to the 1 and the 7 to be your best 8. Or you could be a 26-8, 2 plus 6 equal 8, a 35-8, 3 and 5 equal 8, and so on and so forth, right? So either way you slice or dice it, you come up as an 8, right? So the 8s are here to learn about abundance, about personal power and authority. They are the business people. They are here to manage companies, whether it be their own or someone else's. They make great managers. They have an eye for quality, and they want to live an abundant life. So the 8 is quite often, called the bling baby. They're all about the money, they've got bags of money and they want to drive nice cars and whatnot. And I just, most of the 8s I have talked to are not that. These 8s are actually struggling for money, if you want to know the truth. They really had some difficult times with regards to money. They want money. They enjoy money. They know that they can, the more they spend, the more they can help. The more they earn, the better lifestyle they can live. I mean, make no apologies for that. That is what the 8's all about. However, that's not all that they are about. They need to work through self-worth issues to improve their relationship with money. They have to ask themselves, am I getting paid my worth? Am I setting boundaries to say, no, I'm not working that long, that many hours for that little pay. This is what I'm worth. Have you told somebody what you're worth? You only ever get paid what you're worth. So it's learning how to stand in your own personal power, to recognize that you are worthy of a bigger paycheck than what you are currently earning. So, and the 8 is also here to help others to do the same, to stand in their own power as well. All right, so what happens if you're a 17-8? So the numbers to the left of this slash are what we call sub-lessons, and the one that sits closest to that slash is the 7 in this case. So that's the one that you'll feel the most. The other lesson here is a little further away, okay? So you're not going to feel this one quite as much. But the sub-lessons here include the 1 and the 7. So the 1 relates to learning how to be a little bit more confident, step into your leadership role, be a little bit more authentic, express yourself creatively. The sub-lesson of the 7 is related to learning how to surrender and trust in the divine, whatever the divine means to you. Learning how to get out of your head, stop thinking about your money, right? Because the 7 is a real thinker number. So learning how to stay open and communicative or risk being misunderstood. The 7s are head cases. I'm a head case. I am a 7 life path number. I think and I think and I think, right? So sometimes I fail to communicate what it is I'm thinking, and I surprise people by my actions. And that sets me up to have people not trust me because they think they know me until I do something that they weren't expecting, right? So the 7, if it's, even if it's not your life path number, if it sits here as a sub lesson, that is your lesson, right? To learn how to be a better communicator. So 17-8s often think too much about how they're going to earn their money while sometimes sabotaging their efforts. So a little bit less thinking, a little bit more doing would go a long way for you guys. When we look at the 26-8, this is not a 17-8. This is not a sub-lesson related to the 1 and the 7. They don't need to learn the lessons of the 1 and the 7. They've already got that. They've come in to choose, they've chosen to work on the 2 and the 6, the 6 being the biggest one because it sits closest to the slash. So sub-lessons related to the number 2 is all about patience and diplomacy and partnership. And the 6 is how to be of service rather than risking being of servitude, right? Being taken advantage of. Managing their need for perfectionism, resisting taking on more responsibility than what is really necessary. Learning how to work in partnership, that's that too, right? While lowering the expectations towards themselves and others, that's the 6. So that you can be the best 8 that you can be. Now let's take a look at 35-8. Again, we've already worked on the lessons of the 1 and the 7 and the 2 and the 6. So now we're going to look at the 3 and the 5. So this is managing the sub-lesson related to the 3, overcoming fear of self-expression, maybe employing the use of artwork or music or public speaking or writing. And the 5, which is all about managing your need for freedom and for change and managing your scattered energy a little bit better. You guys are freedom seekers, so sometimes it's hard to kind of hone it in so that you can be the best 8 you can be and manifest whatever you want. Because the 8 is all about being the manifester. So learning how to express yourself with sensitivity while staying a little bit more flexible, a little bit more adaptable in a group dynamic. The 3 is the group dynamic for the greater good of all. So you can see there's 3 different ways that you can be an 8 in terms of a composite number, but you can also be a straight up 8. It's not okay to say you're an 8 life path number anymore, folks. You have to know what kind of an 8 life path number you are before you can really crack the code as to why the heck you're here and what it is you chose to learn. I really hope this has stirred up a little bit of interest in you and that you are ready to learn more. I really hope that you'll check out my Clarity Seekers community. We are doing all kinds of cool stuff in there. I'm teaching numerology in there. They are on Zoom classes. They are not just chat into the chat box kind of thing. We are actually meeting live a couple times a month. We've got live conversations going on. We've got master classes. Oh my God, we've got everything in there related to developing as a spiritual being. Just elevating yourself, raising your vibration. We are an amazing community of seekers just like you. If you're looking for your community, if you're tired of hanging out by yourself, if you haven't found your tribe, and this is kind of not your planet, right? Nobody's speaking your language, we are in there. So check us out. You can find it on AnnPerryNumerologist.com. Scroll down to the bottom, it's right there. $22 a month, guys. You can't go to a movie for that. And I'd love for you to check it out. You can cancel anytime. There's no condition to stay. I would just love for you to at least check us out. So for now, I'm really hoping that you are creating your best day ever and that we will see you inside the community. Have an amazing day, guys. Take care and bye for now.